Good morning at Productronica 2023 at the morning of the third day. I'm sitting here in the booth of ERS, and ERS is a company focusing on equipment for fan-out panel level production. And what is the current status of fan-out panel level technology from your point of view?
We see, thank you for the question, we see panel inquiries, we see people asking themselves still a lot of questions, particularly in Asia Pacific, more demand. Panel is linked to volume manufacturing and in the fan-out space, and today Europe doesn't have those volume, but obviously Asia has those kind of volume. People are considering moving, but they still ask themselves a lot of questions. There are questions around which format. There is questions that remain challenging about the transport. The panel weight is pretty heavy, so it brings more stress into the equipment. They remain concerned about warpage, and that's one of the things we do and we do well. But I would say overall the demand is coming. We see more inquiry, we see people eager to move on, but a major customer pain point remain warpage, remain transport mechanism, and even on the debonding. No one has really given the answer yet to the debonding of a panel, thermal or laser, and somewhere we have hope that with some innovation that ERS will have soon, we may be able to solve some customer pain point in this front. But I mean, I would give you to the experts.
Yeah, so how do you tackle the warpage issue from a technical point of view?
So from the technology point, this time is very interesting, because advanced packaging opens a complete new area for innovative machine maker. And as we are very specialized thermal solution provider, this is also the answer to your question. This is how we tackle warpage. A lot of advanced packaging has to do something with a mold compound, with overmolding, with reconstitution of wafer or panels. And in this area, you are dealing with different CTE coefficients. And if you can manage the thermal aspect of this process, you can manage the warpage. And this is how we do it. And this is how we address this topic in our tools.
Okay. Tanja, you are working on the scientific side of the business. What can you do to get the technology into production, into the real-world production?
I think I fully agree that warpage is one of the key issues, and I think we are also working on that. For us, it's of course, first of all, we want to better understand, so we want to get a deeper understanding of warpage. And one of the goals would be also to later describe and forecast the warpage behavior. And I think there are solutions how to manipulate. And that is also, we have also some additional ideas where we can maybe help to reduce or at least to control warpage. But yeah. And maybe we also see that there is different flavors of fan-out wafer and panel level coming up. So it's like RDL last, RDL first, but there is much more, I think, process options. We see also a lot of RDL interposer with embedded bridges, which relates a bit to RDL first. And this also might go on the panel. So we see a lot of larger packages with larger bodies, which makes much more sense to move on panel than on wafer, because the area utilization is better. But still, again, we have the same material mixture and we have the same issues here, also on warpage. And we really have to work also to solve that and to forecast that better.
How important is advanced packaging? All the fan-out technology are part of advanced packaging. How important is that for Europe? Is that one element we should keep here in place, not to get behind the technology development and stay competitive in a new developing market?
at least we have decided, or the European Union, but also the German government has decided to invest a lot into semiconductors. I think there is Intel coming, there is TSMC coming, and in the beginning it was like, okay, now we have the high-end nodes, but in my opinion it doesn't make sense that we can have high-end nodes in Europe and then we ship them to Asia for packaging. So, and we also have a lot of European customers still who need advanced packaging also to be competitive. And I think we need also at least the technology here, and we need low and medium volumes which we can also package here in Europe. And this is more the access to smaller and medium volumes than to higher volumes, in my opinion.
How was the interest of the public here for your products? Do you think there's an opportunity for Europe, or do you think you sell your machines to Asia and that's it?
I think there is obviously more opportunity in Asia Pacific than in Europe for advanced packaging. But I second Mrs. Braun on the fact that there is a space in Europe for an OSAT that would take the small and medium volume. Interesting enough, I don't see anyone really profiling yet for that, but people are considering. In fact, I will make the analogy of the PCB. Okay, some years ago, all PCB moved to Asia Pacific. And later on, there were some small companies that developed very good competency in high-level PCB in Europe and can do very rapid prototype and small series. And I think there is a need for someone that could do some of that for European customers. The volume, ineluctably, it would remain very Asia-Pacific centric. But there is opportunity in Europe, and at the end of the day, the customer of our customer, the customer of the OSAT, often are in Europe, and we need to talk to them in Europe and then support them when they ramp their volume in Asia-Pacific. That remains the same topic for us. So it's a global market. There is definitely a need for some players, more players in the field of advanced packaging in Europe. I wish our government would consider back-end and advanced packaging as a topic of technology to bring back to Europe, equally to bringing back wafer fabrication in Europe, which they do very well with all of the announcement of Intel, Bosch, and all of these fabs, TSMC and Global Foundry that are coming in Europe. There is something to do in the advanced packaging space.
Okay, so thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with me this morning, and have a nice show.
Thank you.
Thank you.